Testing. Testing
1 2. Testing 1 2. That's so funny. How do you do that? Welcome to the Righteous and Real podcast, where real talk empowers real change. I'm your host, Emilio, and right here we got a legend in the valley. His name is Jason Beard. Let me know this. How long have you been in personal training? How long have you been a fitness coach in the industry?
Oh, man. I started, it's been at least 20 years.
Okay.
I started my early 20s. So a long time.
Okay, and 20 years is a long time. So you
maybe 17 to 20 years.
Experience in the bit.
A long time.
Round up the number. Long enough.
Fitness has been in my blood for a long time. I mean, even at 13 years old, my dad pretty much dragged me to the gym. I was playing video games. He got sick of seeing it. He's like, "Hey, get your ass in the car. You're going with me to the gym." Mm-hmm. I was like, "All right, fine." So we go to the gym. The moment I picked up a weight, man, I got this pump. I'm like, this is badass. Like,
yeah.
I love this. You know what I mean? It's like I was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, it took off from there. And I mean, it's embedded in me. It's, and just as time went, you see these little gains and you're just hooked. And then like, it took off from there, man. And like, I ended up just being like the fitness guy. Yeah. Everyone came to me for questions. They, advice, helping people out. So I just became a trainer at a young age and it took off from there, man. I made a living doing it.
That's how it starts. I mean,
yeah.
When people see you make a change in your body, they always ask you, well, how did you do it? How did you do it?
Yeah.
Because they're looking at you for answers.
Right.
And then once you start to realize, wow, I can actually not only help people, but make this a living for myself.
Right.
I feel like that's where you start to get these ideas and you start to get the drive to really want to make a change. So, I mean, from what I understand, you've made a huge impact on a lot of people in the Central Valley. Did you grow up in the Central Valley?
Yeah, man. I've lived in Clovis my whole life.
Okay.
So
that's why you opened up this fancy gym here in Clovis.
Yeah, I got a lot of love and support here. I'm thankful for that. I had a lot of people behind me, before I did this. So coming into this, man, I was like, I had it all ready to go. Just had to build a badass gym and it was, set from there.
Yeah. And so you've helped a lot of people. You're a fitness coach. You've been training and not only training, but helping others for 17 years.
Yeah.
Has JB Fitness always been a thought in the imagination and it just came to real life? And when did those wheels and those gears start turning in order for you to really open up JB Fitness?
Honestly, man, I never thought I'd be sitting here inside of a gym that I can call mine. Mm-hmm. As a trainer, I thought, this is it. Like, what else am I good at? Like, what else can I do? Like, what can I do to make more money than just personal train? We all have dreams, but doing it is another thing. How many trainers want to open up a gym? A lot of them do.
Every single one of them. And if some say they don't, in the back of their mind, they at least have thought about it before.
Yeah, they've thought about it. And back to the story, I never thought I'd open up a gym. JB Fitness, that started as a personal trainer. And then, and honestly, COVID hit. And, I mean, dude, I lost like almost everything. Like, I have kids, gym shut down. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm like, GB3 shut down. I started hopping around to other gyms. Thank God Iron Office, he kept me. I was able to keep working out. So I built a gym in my garage, and I kept, I was able to keep making money. And dude, this went on for a year and a half. So like I was able to make it, man. I kept going, and there was times where I was scared, man. I mean, I didn't know what to do. Other trainers, their businesses were just done. Like they weren't training no more. And man, it's a touchy subject because it was a rough time. But you know what? It made me stronger. It made me build something bigger, and it made me do something I was always afraid to do that I didn't think I could do, but I did it. And the financial part of it was hard, yes, but I mean, with all the support and saving a lot of money, and during COVID, I did really good. I was able to build this gym right here, so I did it, man.
Yeah, would you say, because you just mentioned you have a family, you have how many kids again?
I got four.
Four.
I got
okay.
4 kids.
Four.
Dude, they're all little. They're all back to back.
Okay.
And thankfully, I have a partner. My wife, she is able to manage all that, and while I do all this, and you gotta have support, man. If you're in fitness, it's a selfish sport. It's all about you. It's about what you eat. It's about what you're gonna work out. If you got a family, it's hard to balance both, man. 4 kids, a business, and trying to keep up with your body, dude, it's impossible. It's stressful. So I struggle daily to get through this. You know what I mean? Fitness is not, it's not easy. And if you're doing other things and you got a family, man, it's even harder. So
yeah, I just had a daughter about almost 2 months ago. And
congrats, man.
Yeah,
Congrats.
It's been amazing. And one of the biggest struggles I've also had is balancing my home life with my work and my job, right? Especially as a personal trainer, when you're running your own business, you're not guaranteed hours, right? So you really have to go out and get your hours and work for it. And there's a lot of dedicated time. And to your point, you have to have a strong partner in order to be there by your side to allow you to work as hard as you do, right? Because there's times where, shout out to my wife, she is able to meal prep my chicken for me, and she's able to meal prep my beef for me. And I let her know, hey, I'm not saying it has to be flavored, this and that. Like, it just helps when you do that for me. And she does it for me because she loves me and allows me to continue to work hard so I can hopefully build something strong and build something with a firm foundation for generations and generations. That's the mindset that you want to have if you're starting your own business. Because if you're somebody who is an entrepreneur, you don't want to just stay small, right? You want to go big. At some point, you gotta expand, right? Yeah. And so with that, I totally agree. I think it's important. I think your partner has just as much to do with your success. You know what I mean? And so, testament, shout out to your wife as well, who's able to help you do all that. Yeah. And so having your kids, having your family, was that a big inspiration to finally expand and just start your own gym?
Yeah, it is, man. Because you want your kids to. You're a role model, so you want them to see what you're doing. You're doing something big, and you want them to see that, and hopefully that they take that and they embed something in them that they want to have the same drive to do something big as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all try our hardest to be the best. You don't have to be a successful gym owner, have a successful business to be a good role model. Just doing the best you can. You know what I mean? Just doing the best you can and being the best dad. That's the main thing at the end of the day. You know?
Yeah. And so with that, you had mentioned also that you do bodybuilding, you do fitness. Like this is a lifestyle, right? This isn't just I kind of do this, right? You have to kind of live it out.
You gotta live it, man. There's a lot of people who they just do it for the title. They just, they want to make some money. I've learned you have to live the lifestyle if you want to be successful at it. You have to walk the walk. You got to talk the talk. You got to live it. If you ain't doing that, you're not really going to make it. Because I tell you what, I see trainers all day long. There's tons of trainers now. When I first started, man, there was maybe, I don't know, 20 of us.
Yeah.
Now there's like hundreds. Okay. Some make it, some don't. But if you live it though, you know, and you're doing it, then yeah. And as far as the shows go, you know, that's the shows were kind of like a side thing for me. I was more into the aspect of just training hard, looking good, being healthy. So, you know, the shows, I did a few shows, went to nationals a couple times, took top 5. Anyone knows me well, they know that I only get ready 2 weeks out for these shows. I walk around usually 5-6% body fat, and then when I get ready for these shows 2 weeks out, I'm struggling even 2 weeks out because it's I'm more for the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So the shows, you know, I learned a lot, made me stronger as a person, but man, I just like to eat.
Yeah, you know I was gonna say, you know what?
I like to eat.
There's so many ways we can kind of take this conversation because you mentioned so many things that I'm interested in talking about.
Yeah,
let's kind of just chime in a little bit on the whole lifestyle thing because you're speaking a lot about how you're always in shape, right? But you also like to eat a lot, right? And so
the balance.
Just for the people out there, like, how can they do what you're doing? You know, staying, let's say, around 10 to 12% body. I mean, this is still really in shape. Like if you're about 10 to 12% body fat as a male, we'll use that for an example. Yeah. You're very lean, right? So how do you maintain that sort of shape year round?
You know, be straight up. I mean, I think I was gifted to be that lean. Mm-hmm. Sounds cocky, but anyone knows me knows that I eat whatever I want. I stay lean. My parents are lean. They eat whatever they want. It's just in the genetics. Genetics play a big role when it comes to bodybuilding, anything like that. If you got good genetics, you don't have to work as hard. You still work, but not as hard. So, you know, thankfully, genetics, but I took advantage of the genetics, okay? I work my ass off. I eat good. I eat clean all week. The weekends come, though, I like to mess up a little bit. That's how I do it, okay? And what works for me is not going to work for everyone else. You know, too many people are stuck on following what he does, what she does, You got to find what works for you. I found what works for me, but I'm still learning, man. And that's what makes bodybuilding, fitness, that's what makes it beautiful, is that you're always learning new things. Mm-hmm. You're not always going to do the same workout. You're going to do different things. You're going to hit different angles, different machines. You know, that's the beauty of it. There's not a right way. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people are stuck on doing this and doing that, and this works, and this works. It's not like that. The body is smarter than we are. Okay, you can't outsmart your body. Doing different things and just having new workouts and eating clean and all that's the way to do it. In my opinion, that's the way to do it.
I love trying different, like in JB Fitness, you guys have a ton of different unique machines, right?
Yeah.
I love going to different gyms and trying out the machines and seeing how it targets my lats, you know, where I feel it mainly in the muscle, right? Am I feeling it in my lower lat? Am I feeling my upper lat? You know, am I feeling in my rhomboids, my rear delts, my back? Like, where exactly am I feeling the muscle group? And I think, like you said, that's the beauty.
And that's the tricky part, right? Not a lot of people know the anatomy. Mm-hmm. You just said the anatomy of the back, right? And you know what exercises to hit, right?
100%.
That's where, you know, your beginner comes in. They do not know what to do. That's the main thing. That's just a piece of the pie. Mm-hmm. To working out and getting things right and knowing what to do, because this is not easy. Let's be real,
right? And that's just a little portion of the work, because you, again, to your point, you really have to live it out. You really have to continue to be on point with your meals. And and let's be honest, if you're not genetically gifted, you do have to put in more work. And I think there's maybe a feeling in a lot of people where they see somebody on social media and they want what they want. They want the body they have. They have unrealistic expectations. They don't know what they're taking, first off, behind the scenes, right? You don't know what you don't know. You don't know if they have good genetics. You don't know if they were born with just really, like, really good luck, right?
Right.
And you don't know what they're eating day to day, right? They could say they're eating one thing, but on the weekends they're eating another because everybody's putting on a face on social media, right? So there's so many different things, and I think we're in a generation where comparison is the thief of joy, and I think we are always comparing ourselves to other people. Do you find yourself comparing yourself to other people?
You know what? Not really. Not no more. You know, I went through that phase.
Yeah.
I started working out in the, mid 90s. Okay. I was in my teens. Okay. You were probably just like this.
Probably. Yeah.
So
the 90s?
Huh?
The 90s you said you were working
Mid-90s.
out? I wasn't even born.
Okay. There you
I
go.
was
You make me
99.
feel old, man. So when that was going on,
I was just an idea in God's mind.
Exactly.
That's
when
funny.
that was going on, I mean, no one was standing around on their phones. There wasn't tripods. I mean, I got a good chance to work out at a good time, and not a lot of people, younger people, get to experience that. And I worked alongside a lot of big dudes, man. They're not here no more. A lot of them aren't here no more. I looked up a lot of those guys. I was 13 years old, and I was the little guy, little kid running around asking these guys questions and just training. The way I started training, just randomly started out working out. I still train the same way. I did one body part a day, and I just killed it. Did high volume workouts. But back to where we were talking about, I learned a lot, and I got to see a good time of bodybuilding. Everyone was just serious. Things have changed. Let's be real. Things have changed. Mm-hmm. It's you got 5 guys on a machine. You got tripods everywhere. People are on their phones. There's a lot of distractions. There wasn't that when I started working out. There was none of that. So I grew up in that era. So I wasn't comparing in internet. There was no social media like Instagram. There was MySpace. Yeah, that was it. There was MySpace. But as far as comparing, man, no, it just wasn't the same. Honestly, we complimented each other. We helped each other. We wanted each person to succeed. We're really comparing it nowadays. Yeah, I can see that it's different. Mm-hmm. The fitness community, even the fitness community here, it's disconnected. It's disconnected, man. You got gyms, you got different gyms, you got different teams, shows, and then you got the coaches, and everything is disconnected. Everyone's got on their own sides. No one's really helping each other out. There's a lot of back and forth. I mean, it's just different, man. What I grew up in was just different.
Yeah. So for you, comparison wasn't even maybe a thought process because you knew at a point, hey, I'm trying to get like these other guys.
I mean, Brad Pitt Fight Club, that's about it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like how we are now, where social media brings such this and such an unrealistic expectation too, because when you used to see people, you just used to see people in person versus now you get an influencer with the best lighting, the best angle, the best Photoshop, all that sort of stuff. And I mean, you see so many people coming out with these photos where you can tell it's Photoshop, and people are busting them for it, making whole accounts about it. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So
exactly, man, and it's got to be overwhelming for your beginner. Mm-hmm. All the stuff. I mean, like you said, comparing supplements. There's so much shit out there, man. It's just like, it's overwhelming. It just wasn't as complicated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I guess I'm just more old school.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about that, because I've had multiple coaches come on this podcast, and the reason why I love, and let me just make this clear, it's called the Righteous and Real podcast.
Yeah.
And the goal is to obviously be righteous, and that meaning having good morals, right? And having the right beliefs, but being real, right? And authentic. So I want everybody to be who they are in that moment authentically, right? And within that, that's really why I started this. And the reason why I have so many people come on, like fitness coaches, then I'll have pastors, is because I love faith and I love fitness. And so I love bringing people like you on, because I love to hear their approach, right? What's your approach when it comes to helping somebody, whether it's losing weight, whether it's gaining muscle, right? You said you're old school. Is there something old school to your approach?
Not really, man. Not really. You know, it kind of naturally just happens. I mean, I enjoy helping people when they have questions. I have had hundreds of clients. Okay. I mean, I've run into people in public who I've trained in the past, so I don't even remember. That sounds bad, but that's how many people I've had in my time. I've changed lives. I've had people straight off drugs into the rehab, out of the rehab, and their new drug was working out. And you know, I've saved a lot of lives. I've changed. I mean, I've changed horrible lifestyles to a selfish lifestyle, but in a good way. You know. But I mean, as far as like a natural touch or anything like that, you know, I just do my thing and you know, and just I think some people just grab a hold of it, you know.
Yeah. So when it comes to, let's say, a diet, a protocol, a training program, what's typically what you put the average type of, you know, person on when it comes to programming? Do you usually put them on a full body program? Do you put them,
it depends.
You know, on a 2-day split, right? Or
it depends.
A 3-day split, 4-day split?
It depends. You know, what I do with all my clients or potential clients, we do a consult first.
Right.
You know, I ask them, hey, how many days a week are you able to work out? You know, some people have busy lives. Some people have babies. People are limited. So
Mike Byer.
Yeah, that's all right. So depending on like, you know, regimen, it depends on their lifestyle. I like to get a little information of the client. How many days can you go? What are you eating right now? What's your goal? And then we kind of go from there. You know what I mean? If you can only go 2 days a week, okay, we're going to do full body.
Yeah.
You want to build some mass? Okay, we're going to do some compound movements.
Awesome.
I never use the same routine on one person. Like I said, everyone is different and unique.
To your point, individual.
Yeah,
Everybody is
exactly.
so individual.
Some people have health issues, you know, and injuries. So we got to do things different. Everyone's unique, and that's kind of what makes it fun too. Is everyone's different. You know, you're not using the same routine on everybody. I think if you're that new trainer and you don't really know what to do, you could probably, you know, use the same routine on everybody. But I've been doing this so long that I know that everyone's different, and you can't do that. That's just
not going to work, right?
That's just not going to work, man. You gotta give it your all to these people.
A lot of cookie cutter type of things out there. And at the end of the day, like if you don't, I think there should be a system, right? Like you should have a certain system to how you like to train your clients, to how you program, right? Where, hey, I believe in compound movements. I believe in these type of movements. Like to say, I believe in good squat variations, good pressing variations, whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're right. Like it is so individual.
Yeah.
So I have clients who sometimes come in and, you know, they only have 2 days a week to work out, and for them to come in just for one chest day and then one leg day, that just I'm doing them a disservice, right? And I feel like any other trainer who would do that is doing them a disservice. At the end of the day, if they're coming to me twice a week, you got to do full body, right? Because you're trying to hit all those muscle groups twice a week at least.
I mean, if that's the only time they can come, it makes sense that, okay, we're going to do full body because you're not going to be here the rest of the days. And you're going to be, you know, not giving any attention to any of those other muscles. So that makes the best sense, right? So, yeah, everyone is unique, and you got to do something different with everyone.
So do you believe, I have a kind of a question for you, do you believe in moderation or abstinence? So do you believe that people can have moderation within their diet, or do you think they have to almost change themselves in a sense where, okay, I'm just not that person? So, for example, I don't associate with alcohol. I just don't drink it. I'm not saying that you're terrible and I hate you if you drink. I just don't drink alcohol. I'm abstinent from it, right? I'm not one of those people who believe I could take it in moderation, right? So the same thing with food. A lot of people try to have so much moderation with food to their failure, right? To the point where they have one thing and they fall off, right?
Right.
So are you someone who believes in moderation, or do you believe in just abstinent from that thing?
So it's like this. You got a guy who comes to you. He's 300 pounds. I want to lose 100 pounds. he doesn't deserve moderation right now. He needs to drop the weight first, get to your goal, and then we can kind of play with moderations. Okay? He hasn't reached that point yet where you deserve moderation. Okay? Moderation is splurging here and there and having your bad habits here and there. It's not acceptable.
Because you've already done all these bad habits for so long. At some point, you need to face the retribution from that.
You got to put the work in first.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man, is not everybody wants to put in the work. Not everyone wants. Look, if it was that easy, everybody would be walking around in good shape.
Right.
Let's be real. A lot of people are overweight and they're obese. Okay? The world doesn't make it easy for us. There's a fast food joint on every corner, right? Right?
Yeah. Processed
foods. You eat these foods, then they put crap in it that makes you want to keep eating them, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be strong-willed. There's so much that goes into getting in shape, not just good genetics. Diet, exercise, cardio,
mindset,
supplements, and most of all, mindset. But it's not even just diet, it's mindset. People don't have the mindset. Some do. This is not for everybody. Fitness is not for everybody. But do we need it? We all need it, right? We all need it. That's what helps us live longer.
Right. Yeah.
So as far as moderation, no. I mean, you have to reach that point first for moderation. Okay. Now you got that guy who's in good shape. Okay. You have the guy who's in good shape. He's works his ass off. He trains hard. He deserves moderation. He can cheat here and there. For me, example, I cheat every weekend, but I'm good all week. But you know what? I put in the work.
Right.
I put in the work so I can do it.
If you're training 5-6 times a week, you're already burning so many calories. You're already sending that signal to your body. You're already stimulating your body to the point where your body's going to know what to do with those calories that you're intaking on the weekend anyways, right? So you are able to be flexible within that,
Yeah.
Earlier, you had also mentioned a little bit about how you don't deserve it necessarily if you're at a point where you're that obese.
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit more why you would say that. Why do you feel like the 300-pound person doesn't deserve it? Doesn't deserve to have that moderation that they're looking for?
It could be my mindset talking, okay? Because that's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, explain that.
But
too.
If he wants to lose 100 pounds, okay, he's got to have the right mindset. And he's got to be on the right diet, okay. Now, honestly, I've seen people who look at food and gain weight, okay.
Yeah.
And really, I've seen people look at food and they've put on a couple pounds. No, but really though, if he's trying to lose 100 pounds, he's starting to lose a little bit of weight. And I've seen this with clients, okay? Because I've had hundreds of clients. They're starting to drop the weight. They go out for someone's birthday. They have some drinks, food. They put on 15 pounds, okay? You've been dieting so long, and then you throw on 15 pounds, okay? It's like this. It's like this, okay? I'm just talking, a few months out of your life to just be good, okay?
That's a good point.
Now, look, you having a little snack here and there, okay? I had a couple chips. Cool, that's fine, okay? But I'm talking like going out, drinking, going to grab McDonald's during our prep, I think it's unacceptable as a trainer. I'm not going to allow it. You know what I mean? And then I tell my clients, hey, if you're going to go out and you're going to mess up and eat like crap, you need to tell me, okay? So we can kind of tweak things. Like I'm with them every step of the way. So
that's a good point. So if you're going to mess up, be open and honest with me.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm getting coached by you and I did mess up. What would be the tweaks that you would make if I were in that situation?
So I wouldn't train you harder in the gym. I wouldn't do that. Okay, I wouldn't kick your ass in the gym harder.
Because that's what most people are probably thinking when you say that, right?
Yes. So we would go back on your diet and let's just say, for example, okay, I'm having you do 150 grams of carbs a day with 200 grams of protein and 40 grams of fat. Okay, you messed up. You put on 14 pounds. You know what? We're gonna maybe fast for the next few days, just in the morning. and then we're going to drop your carbs from 150 to, let's say, 50. We may carb cycle, okay? That's where a good coach comes in. They're able to tweak your diet, pull some carbs out, increase the fats, okay? I'm a numbers guy, so I care about what you eat, but I also care about how much you're eating of that food. Carbohydrates, protein, fats, okay? All that is important when you're trying to reach your goal. You're the guy that needs to gain weight? Okay. Your moderations can go through the roof more likely, and you can have In-N-Out burger every now and then, okay?
Yeah.
So that goes back to where really it depends on the person.
On the person.
Yeah.
On the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much that goes into helping one individual because everybody's so different.
Well, yeah, you got people who, hey, Jason, I want to gain weight. I got girls that come to me I trained. Hey, I need to gain weight. I want to gain a booty. I want to gain bigger legs. They want to gain weight. They want to see that weight go up. Back then, it was like, I want to drop weight for most women. But now women want to, they want that big butt, the big legs.
Well, now they understand
waist.
they're more educated now. That building muscle is what's going to give them the body that they want.
Exactly.
For so long, women were told you need to just do cardio. You need to just lift lightweight with a lot of reps. And now they're starting to understand, oh, wait, I need to be strong as well, right?
Yeah.
I need to be having muscle as well.
It's a new trend. It's a new trend.
Well, the whole muscle mommy thing, right? Like that's obviously
strength training, weightlifting is becoming popular with women. I think it's great. It's not just yoga and Pilates now. Now they're starting to lift weights. You look around my gym, I got a lot of booty equipment, right? A lot of leg equipment. So I've brought in a lot of women in here because they love to train legs. But some want to gain, some want to drop. So, we go either way.
Yeah. So a little bit earlier, before we even hopped on the podcast, I kind of asked you what you felt like your strongest, body part on your physique was. You mention shoulders. So for everybody out there, maybe there's a few tips you can give on how to grow your shoulders or what you feel like your body's most responded to. I know shoulders can be a really big lagging group for a lot of men, right?
Yeah.
And the shoulders actually give you kind of that Captain America type
V-taper.
Look.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Lateral raises, shoulder press?
This is how I look at it, and this is kind of how I look at it with all the other body parts. I look at the body as like an anatomy chart, okay? Each exercise you do is going to sculpt a certain body part, okay? So shoulders, you got your side delts, you got your front delts, you got your rear delts.
Yep.
And then you got your compound movement for mass, okay? The heavy lift, right? You know what that is, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Shoulder press.
Yeah.
Shoulder press, dumbbell press. We always do those first, correct? We do those first and we go heavy. And so I like to do it by angles. I like to sculpt every one. So just to break it down quick, military press, you go fucking heavy, man. Go fucking heavy.
You better be lifting some heavy weight on that military
heavy ass
press.
weight.
Yep.
You go heavy as you can, 6 reps, 4 reps. And then it's all downhill from there, okay? Then you do those side dumbbell lateral raises, okay? Get those side capped delts. And then you get the front delts, okay? And that's going to be from the front raises, front. And then the most lagged exercise is your rear deltoids. No one knows how to hit the rear deltoids. They just do butterflies.
Yeah. With the dumbbells and yeah. Butterflies, that's a funny way to put it.
I keep it basic. I like just dumbbells and barbells, man. I mean, I built the best physique in my garage, and that was just all barbells and dumbbells. Bent over dumbbell raises.
Yeah.
And that's about it, man. Those are like, I have to have those.
There's so many fancy machines right now, but sometimes it's just throwing some heavy weight on a barbell and just rowing that thing, right? Or, putting some weight over the bar and just pressing it over your head. You know what I mean? And there's, like I said, there's so many machines. There's so much equipment nowadays that can hit and squeeze your muscle group so hard.
The equipment looks cool.
Right.
It looks cool.
There's something to compound movements. I totally agree, right? There's something to a heavy military press. Correct me if I'm wrong, especially I think for naturals, for people who are natural. You know what I mean? They need those heavy compound movements to truly grow.
I believe we all do to build that base. Okay,
Yeah.
we want to build that base when we first start working out. For example, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, he worked with compound movements, deadlifts, bench press,
Landmine rows.
Yeah, exactly. Those basic compound movements build the base of the physique. It builds the structure, the basic base that you need. And then from there, you sculpt around that with machines, cables, side lateral raises, for example. So yeah, those are like a must. You take those away, it's like taking bread out of your In-N-Out burger. You know what I mean? Just the meat.
I think you're right.
Not complete.
The compound movements are the bread and butter of a program, right? And so whether you're planning for a female or a male, right? Are we doing our squats? Are we doing our heavy presses? Are we doing our heavy pulls?
Right.
And are we executing them properly? Right?
Yeah.
Are we doing it with good form? So, like all these things play a role.
Yeah.
In training, and I think you made a good point. Yeah, it's important for naturals, but it's also important for everybody, right?
It
And
is.
in your opinion, from what you're saying, whether you're natural or not, you need to be hitting those compound movements, those heavy barbell rows, those.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got all the fancy equipment, but sometimes you need to throw around some heavyweight, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of this fancy equipment hits different, but going back to the basics, man, it's the best.
The way I like to talk about it is it's like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get the bread and butter exercises done, right? Let's do our heavy presses in the beginning of the workout. Let's do our rows, and let's do our incline barbell press in the beginning of the workout when we have the most energy, right? And then
End
what?
off with the fancy
let's
weights,
put the
right?
icing on the cake, right?
Exactly.
Let's go to the pec flies after our incline press. Now let's go to the incline dumbbell.
Exactly.
Like whatever the case is, right? So I always love to. That's where I get to have fun as a coach, right? Is I get to kind of tweak the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Maybe today we're gonna do, let's shock the body. We're gonna do incline dumbbell press after we do the incline barbell, or after that we're gonna use that fancy chest machine over there, right? That JB's got going on, right? And we're able to challenge and switch things up in a great way, but we're also able to have structure with those compound movements and so on.
Exactly. No, you couldn't have said it any better, man. That's exactly how I look at it. I built the gym as if I was building it for me. And so, I'd make sure I got all those compound movements, exercises, and then all the beautiful state-of-the-art machines.
So just out of curiosity, from me, this is honestly a question for me.
Yeah.
I've been personal training. I've been a fitness coach for about 3 years now.
Right.
So I've been in for 3 years, but to me, I'm still a baby in the game, right? Like there's so much more for me to learn. There's so much more for me to grow. When it comes to building something like this, what made you not do it sooner than later?
Well, I would say, first of all, I didn't have the money to do this a few years ago. Second of all, I didn't think I could do it. I was kind of relaxed in the life that I had,
Content.
I was content. You're right. If you're a successful trainer, you can make a lot of money. Okay. You can make a lot of money. You can make good money.
And you can help a lot of people.
A good trainer, it's like planting seeds. When you get clients, they tell their friends, they tell their friends, they tell their friends. You post before and after pics. I mean, dude, you're gonna explode. It's a no-brainer. I mean, if you want to be a good, successful trainer, you can do it. But there's no way I could have built a gym like this a couple years ago. And you know what? Honestly, the gym game was different before COVID. Okay. I would be scared. Even if I had the money to do the gym before COVID, I wouldn't have done it. But the fitness industry changed after COVID. People wanted to be healthy.
Why do you think there was such a shift in that?
I think people were scared. People were seeing other people die. People were dying. I mean, I had a buddy who passed away from COVID. He was a bodybuilder. And just seeing that, man, I was just like, wow, like, it's happening. But I think people during that time, we weren't doing anything for so long. Gyms shut down and everyone just felt like crap. They wouldn't let us do anything. I mean,
you don't know what you don't have until you lose it.
You don't know what you have until you lose it. You're right. And I think it was a big reality check, and just health became a big thing. People were bored too, and they were started to exercise. You know,
Yeah.
I was going to a park, and I was strapping milk bottles around my waist, and I do pull-ups and
Interesting.
a lot of calisthenics, you know, all that stuff, and I made it work.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And
well, you
some
gotta make
gyms
it
stayed
work.
open, you know, so
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
exactly, yeah. It's amazing what the mind will do if you're stuck doing nothing. So.
Yeah, well, that's what I always hear because, you know, like I said, I just had a daughter recently, and it's like sometimes you just, man, you got to give them no iPad, no nothing. You just got to let them be creative, right? Because that's when, and
Yeah,
it's
let
like,
'em play, let 'em
Yeah,
play.
and it's, hey, same thing with adults though, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to just let us play, right? But now
Yeah.
when you're older, you're not playing figuratively like with, you know, in the dirt or whatever the case is. You're playing with money. You're playing with life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to step back, get that creativity, and then go at
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? And
it can hurt you too. You know what I
right.
mean? Like
just like a kid when you're younger, right?
exactly. When you get older and you make, you know, big decisions, it can backfire on you too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
What would you say to someone who's aspiring to open up a gym as well?
And you know, I get a lot of people have asked me this lately, like,
Yeah.
what inspired you to open up a gym? If I was to say anything to anyone, I would, first thing came to my head is do something different. Do something different because, the gym I built, I thought of something just totally different. I mean, everyone seems like everyone's doing the same thing, you know. For example, I won't say any names, but you walk into a gym, you got yellow, you got purple, you got, you know what I mean?
We're not gonna add anybody.
It's bright, you know, a lot of people. So I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to do something fun. You walk into a gym, imagine feeling like, whoa. Imagine you're walking into like a Vegas nightclub, okay? But there's machines. And you just drank your pre-workout and you want to go get a workout in.
That's a great description
Yeah.
of this
And-
gym.
but there's
yeah.
but you're taking care of yourself. You're not drinking alcohol, okay?
Yeah, but then that makes it
So-
easy for you to
Yeah.
be able to put everything you want in the gym. It's
Right.
like, okay, I want it to be this vibe. I want it to
Yeah.
be this type of energy. This is what I need to do.
This is what I wanted. Okay. I mean, being in the game so long, I wanted to create something that every angle you look at of the gym is aesthetic. That just looking at the mural of Arnold right here, just looking at that and working out, your motivation goes up just a little bit. It does something with your endorphins. Okay. Just a little bit. I put murals around the gym, the lighting, the colors, it all comes together, okay? It makes you that much more motivated to go to the gym. So I made it real hip, good music, and you know, so far so good. So
Yeah.
if I was to say something to someone, do something different. Don't do the same thing, because you know what? All these people opening up gyms, they're doing the same thing. Separate yourself.
right.
Make people talk about you, okay? Make people talk about your gym. Oh, you know, like, haters are going to hate too,
Yeah.
but that's good because they're
Right.
talking about you. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, they're all out there. They're going to do it. Like when I built this gym, I mean, I had people, oh, you know, like, you sure about this? Like, you know, that's, you know, it's expensive and all that. I put a lot of money in this place. Yes,
Yeah.
it's expensive to work out in. It's expensive, but that's the point. I don't want the whole world here. I don't want a packed gym. I want a private gym. If it was $80, everyone would be here. And I'd be just like the rest of the gyms. Be a cool gym, but it'd be packed. But the concept that I did is different, okay? Sounds bad, but the concept that I came up with is to keep the place private and exclusive. And that's from a higher price point. But that higher price point, you're getting a badass gym. You're getting all the equipment. You don't have to wait to get on anything. So
Yeah, I
mean-
can be a testament to that because I've been going here since it
Yeah.
pretty much opened up, and
yeah.
I'm always in here. There's maybe 10 people in here,
Yeah.
5-10 people, and when I'm
Yeah.
training here, and it's like, dang.
And people are probably like, God damn, is he going out of business? There's only like 10 people in here?
No, but it's, you know, you're able to have that more exclusive feel
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
and charge a higher price, right? And
Well, yeah,
so-
that higher price keeps it really low key, 10 people per hour in here, and it keeps the gym going.
yeah,
It's not about the money, man. It's not about the money. Like, being a gym owner, you could make good money, yes, but it's not about that. It's about building a community, bringing people together. People setting up, taking videos, taking pictures in here.
yeah,
Like, that's cool. I like that. I like it. Not everyone is for it, but it's bringing a good vibe. The vibe has been amazing here, and if you guys are listening to this, JB Fitness members, I appreciate all you guys. Wouldn't be able to do it without you guys.
yep. You even tell to the camera right here.
Exactly. Yep. JB Fitness members.
That's including me too. So
You too. Exactly.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. You're talking
He
straight
knows
to
what's
me.
up.
So with that, I also want to talk a little bit about just your experience as far as bodybuilding goes, because I
Yeah.
know you even before we went on the podcast, we kind of talked about how we might talk about steroids and whatnot.
Yeah.
right?
Touchy subject. Touchy
Touchy
subject.
subject. I've no, but
The
I've
thing that
asked,
not everyone wants to talk about.
I've asked, and it's a conversation, obviously. So I'm Christian. You can chime in. You can say whatever, but
Yeah.
it's not for me, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I know just morally, like faith wise,
Yeah.
I just know God wouldn't want me to do that to my
Right.
body, right?
Right.
But I know everybody has different opinions. Everybody
And
has different
I
tastes.
respect that.
Yeah,
I respect
and
that.
so that's why
Yeah.
I'm someone who's like, and I wouldn't advise anybody to do it either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But for you personally, what's your experience with it?
I'm pretty open about it. I mean, it's pretty open now to a lot of people, and a lot of people are hush hush about it.
Back in the day, it was like a
It was real hush hush.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's like you got every guy. Hey, I'm taking D-ball. I'm taking
Yeah.
tests. When I was 23 years old, I took my mom's car through Tijuana with a couple buddies from the gym.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. We go through Tijuana. We go to Ensenada. We go to the pharmacy. We buy a bunch of gear.
This is crazy. What the heck?
Yeah.
Seriously, like that?
Just like that. We were crazy. But
Dang, you guys must have wanted that bad.
we've taped it around our legs. Okay. For personal use, not to sell. Personal use. We go back through the border. Border Patrol's like, hey, you guys step out of the car. They check our car. We were sweating. We're like, fuck's
Yeah.
gonna go on. Okay, you guys can go. We get back. I do my first cycle ever, okay? I didn't know what the hell I was doing, okay? I did it. I broke out.
Oh wow.
I looked like freaking Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
Okay? Bloated. And I won't get into names of stuff that I did, but I didn't do it right. Okay. And that's the problem with nowadays. But we'll get to that. I didn't do it right, so I didn't like it. Okay. As time went by, I tried a little bit of stuff here and there. Just wasn't for me. Okay. Wasn't for me. Being natural was the way to go. I looked better that way. But okay.
It's interesting you say that.
But no. I loved my physique before I did it. It was aesthetic, okay? And that's my goal, is to stay aesthetic. But, okay, this is where I went wrong, though, man. I go get blood work done. This is a couple years later after screwing around with stuff here and there. Doctor tells you, hey, you're low T. You got test levels of a 80-year-old man. So what now? I got to stay on this shit forever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm on it for life. TRT.
Right.
Most wouldn't consider that to be on steroids on a cycle. TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. So you're replacing your body with testosterone you've lost. That's what makes you a man, right? That's what makes you a man. You take that away, your manhood's gone.
Right.
Okay. So
That's a good point.
that's where these young guys are going wrong. And I try to tell them that these guys got coaches. They got coaches and they have them on a ton of stuff. Excuse my language, but they're fucking their bodies up, okay?
Right. At such a young age too.
Such a young age. Their physiques are just growing. They're just starting, and they're not even, dude, they're barely past puberty, man, some of these guys. And I look at it, man, and I've been in the game a long time. I've seen them grow through the years, and their bodies just get torn up. Now, if you do it right, like some people, there's a way of doing it right, okay? I'm not against it. And people accuse me all the time, oh, you're on a cycle, you're on a cycle. I run TRT, but people who knew me, though, before I even took TRT, thought I was on steroids. When I was in high school, people thought I was on steroids. Okay?
Yeah.
That goes back to the good genetics.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not against it. I just wish people did it right. And I tell you what, it's an epidemic right now. It's all over. These guys going back to social media and comparing. That's where it goes wrong. People are comparing these social media, these influencers, and they're taking all this stuff and they're not doing it right and they're messing their bodies up. You know what, man? When I had my first kid, I told myself, I actually regretted what I did a while back. Because you know what? Each time you do stuff like that,
Yeah.
and you're smart, you don't. Each time you do it, you're taking years off your life. You are. I don't care. I don't give a shit what people say. They can say I'm wrong. Oh, there's a right way. There is a right way of doing it, but there's consequences.
Yeah.
And you will face those later on in life. And I think I'm a type of guy that thinks long term. You're gonna put that shit in your body. You're gonna lose a little bit of time with your loved ones.
What's the value in that? You know, like at the end of the day, like why would you trade that?
You're gonna sit in your hospital bed one day after having a heart attack or liver failure. I could have had a little more time with, my loved ones, but I was too busy taking, a ton of steroids, whatever. And that's not always the case. Okay, now you can die from a car wreck, you can die from other stuff, but let's be real.
Yeah,
let's be real. It's not helping your body. Okay, and I'm talking about cycles. I'm talking about cycles and cycles.
Not just testosterone replacement.
Not just testosterone. No, there's a right way of. When I say there's a right way of doing it, that's a right way of doing it because your body produces it. It's synthetic, but your body's mimicking testosterone.
But what you're saying, the best way is to just be natural. It's just to use your own body and just never do it in the first place, And
you know what, man? There's Emilio. There's guys who do it the right way. They're natty. They hit 35, 40 years old and they find out that they have low T levels no matter what. Yeah. Even a guy like me who messed around with stuff, in my 20s, I could have ended up like that anyways with low T, but it makes you there faster by, doing it.
Yeah.
But staying natty, of course, is the best way, man. We don't need, if it ain't natural, obviously common sense, your body don't need it. Right. It's just like anything else. Same with processed foods.
Yeah, same with food, right? If I can't pronounce what's on the back of the label, like why am I putting that? And that's the problem with a lot of people, man, is they just put stuff in their mouth. They don't even think about what they're doing. Like that's the most simple thing that you could learn how to do, yet you're just throwing it, just like whatever. Exactly. You don't even know what you're eating. You know what I mean? Same thing with a lot of kids nowadays. I see it in the gym culture, just throwing stuff into their bodies, right? Yeah. Injecting stuff into their bodies. And at the end of the day, it's just not good, right? And at the end of the day, like how many of us are really going to be competitive in a sport like bodybuilding? And I've been realistic to myself in my mind. I'm like, if I even ever did, could I be Mr. Olympia? Like, because at the end of the day, if I'm gonna do something, I want to be the best. You know, and so
some will go to extreme to be the best, right? Yeah, and it's not just bodybuilders. Yeah, all athletes. Oh no, 100%. All athletes are doing it. But you know what? If you got something to live for, and you're getting ready for like say Olympia or anything like that. Right. Then you know what? Sometimes it's worth taking those steps because your life's a story. Yeah, you want your life to be a good story, not a boring story. Yeah. So I can't sit here and say, don't do that. That's gonna be the best way to doing it. Everyone has different scenarios, different dynamics in their life. If you got something you're gonna work for and that you're good at, that you're gonna go for at, it's worth maybe taking the risk, even if you're gonna have kids later on. Yeah, I did shows and I did some stuff, but I never went hard. I just just a little bit, and I'd do a show, but I told myself, and what, I probably could have went far. I had the best coach. I was on Team Cuts, Ariel. He's the best coach. He's a coach for one of our local Olympians, and my last show I did was Governor's Cup. It took first. And then next was going to be nationals, and that's when COVID hit. But his last words were like, "Hey, you're going to have to take this, 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 and this." And I thought, to be the best, to be one of the best. Right. I don't think I was be the best.
Yeah.
But I was told I could be up there. But you got to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah, you got to weigh your pros and cons.
And you know, if you want to sacrifice that, I'm not going to judge you. Like, you know, I respect either way. You're working hard.
Yeah.
But are you killing yourself? Fuck yeah, you're killing yourself, man.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
And you're one of the first people who really are talking about this, like
Yeah.
how bad it actually is for you. Because I think a lot of people talk about, hey, it's okay to do it. Just do it this way, or just do it the right way. It's because people aren't doing it the right way.
Yeah.
But you made a great point. Whether you're doing it the right or the wrong way, it's still taking years off your life, no matter how you slice it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you won't know the retribution from that until you get to that point where your body is able to catch up to itself in a sense. You know what I mean? So in other words, we're just trying to say, hey, stay natty. You know, unless you got a big reason to, just work with the body.
If you have a big reason to, yes. But other than that, if you're not going to be doing shows, you want to look good for like being in the gym, it's not worth it, man.
In my opinion,
go to the lake.
In my opinion, just work with the body God gave you. But hey, you know, everybody else.
You know what I mean? Exactly, man. Eat your chicken and rice and you take your creatine. You know, that's the best way to do it.
Creatine. Yeah.
I have a question about creatine.
Yeah.
What does it do?
So what does creatine do?
Yeah, so creatine, to break it down quick, okay. Creatine is basically just water into your muscles. Okay? It's not necessarily going to give you energy, not like a pre-workout. It's just going to make your muscles a little more watery. Creatine monohydrate, the godfather of creatines. There's a million creatines now.
The cheapest and the best, man.
Yeah, that was the first thing I ever took. And if you're already a lean guy and you take creatine and you take, like, say, up to 15 grams, 20 grams, you'll blow up. But it's just all water, okay?
Yeah.
Once you stop doing it, you lose it. Just like anything else, nothing good lasts, right? But yeah, it's just water weight.
But they've done so many studies now as of recent that creatine monohydrate is actually
women are taking it now.
Way more beneficial, not just for muscle, but for the brain. Like
brain health. Yes.
Yeah, there's a study done where they had people who were sleep deprived take creatine monohydrate, and they noticed they had better cognitive performance throughout their day when they took the creatine versus the group that didn't take creatine that were sleep deprived.
And they're just now figuring that out. Before it was hard on your kidneys, which it could be if you take a lot of it. But yes, brain health. I mean, we're learning all this good stuff. And you know what? I think as time goes, we're going to learn a lot more better stuff about things we're already taking that are said to be bad.
Well, at the end of the day, creatine is just, you know, an amino acid, and we can get that through food, right? But
we could get it through red meat, you're right.
Yeah,
just not enough of it.
Yeah, just not enough of it, right? So the 5 grams minimum
maintenance dose, 5 grams,
maintenance dose, right? So that's why we're recommended to take it, because it is so beneficial for us at a 5 gram dose per day.
I take that year round, 5 grams. Yeah.
And that's the way to do it if you're going to take. And then, I mean, as far as supplements go, that's probably the only supplement I would really strongly recommend. There's so many supplements over the counter. There's so many supplements that can help. Or that can.
They're all different.
We're talking about training, right? Like the icing on the cake. Yeah. If you're doing everything else right, and you want an edge, and you want a little bit more. Okay, now we can kind of go into, like, I love essential amino acids. Yeah. Typically, especially for clients who are like vegan,
fasting in the morning,
clients who are fasting in the morning and maybe need something to work out with because they don't want to eat too early, whatever the case is. Yep. Essential amino acids are a really good supplement that I enjoy. I also love electrolytes. This has really been more recent that electrolytes have become so popular, but man, electrolytes are so good for you. And like, people don't understand how beneficial, like, being hydrated and having that sodium in your body is for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree totally, man. It sucks because there's so many good supplements to take, and it's so expensive, and you can't take it all at once. And you got to really pick, like, which ones should I take? Like, what are the most important ones to take? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And pre-workout, I mean, because if you get like good pre-workout, you're getting like 40, 50 a pop, and that's like every month. You know what I mean? And so I kind of came to an executive decision.
And they're not the best for you.
Right. And
let's be real.
I came to an
pre-workouts. Dude, your heart's in overdrive for 2 hours.
That's why I stopped taking energy drinks above like 200 milligrams. And some people might be like, oh, you're a wuss for that or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? But I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, I know how my body feels, right? Like, I know how my body reacts. I'm going to listen to my body. I'm going to
Yeah.
listen to my mind, and I'm
You're not going to die from a pre-workout, right?
Right. You're not going to die from it. But hey, if my heart's beating and I'm getting anxious from it, I'm obviously not supposed to take this right
Yeah.
now. So I made an executive decision for myself about a year and a half ago. I'm like, I'm just doing black coffee now. And honestly, like, the caffeine helps.
Natural.
And it's natural. And I go into my workout and I have just enough energy. I make sure I have my gallon of water next to me with my electrolytes in it, and I have the best pumps in the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, get the supplements that you can really benefit from. You
Right.
can really benefit from the right electrolytes. You can really benefit from creatine.
Yeah.
And if your protein is low every single day, you can really benefit from essential amino acids or a whey protein isolate of some sort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So
No,
all these
totally.
things will definitely help you out. So when it comes to helping your clients get, let's say their protein intake every day, do you like to recommend, a whey protein isolate, or do you try
Oh
to
yeah.
make
Yeah.
them-
Commonly my clients, they're not eating enough, especially women. They're eating 1 meal, 2 meals a day max. And
Right.
it can be just carb meal.
Yeah.
Meal replacement protein shakes, as you call them, meal replacements. It's a fast way. And I tell my clients, it's like blending up a piece of chicken in the blender and you're drinking it, because you tell someone, take a meal replacement shake, let's say a woman, they think they're going to build muscle, but it's just a meal replacement, to get more protein, and it's easy and it's convenient. So I recommend protein to all my clients because most of them aren't getting enough protein already. So that's a quicker way to meet that number that you need.
Right.
And everyone being a different weight and goal, I recommend different amount of protein for each person.
Right.
So
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. Typically a gram per pound of body weight, goal body weight, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I always say goal body weight because every time I say a gram per pound,
I like that goal body weight.
goal body weight, because at the end of the day, if I'm a 300-pound obese man and
He's not gonna
I'm
do
not going to eat 300 pounds,
He's not gonna do
I'm not
300.
going to eat 300 grams of protein.
Good
That's
point.
Just,
No,
you know what I
good
mean?
point, because you're, if someone who doesn't really know what they're doing, they're gonna 1 gram per pound per body weight. Okay, I'm 300 pounds. I'm gonna take 300, and they're eating all day long.
Yeah, no,
So-
I mean, it's impossible to get to that point. I mean, I'm
Very
real-
expensive.
Yeah, very expensive.
Lots
And
lots of meat and protein. Yeah.
I'm realistic with myself. I'm a short king. I'm 5'8".
Hey.
So you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I'm not a big dude. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So how much protein do I really need? Okay. I'm, let's say 180 in the off season. And then, when I cut down, I get abs when I'm like at 160.
Right.
Then, okay, that's my goal body weight. So let me at least get in 170 grams of protein or 160 grams of protein every day, right? Just to maintain or grow, right? Maybe when I'm in the off season, I'll increase that protein and, actually have that protein intake stay
Right.
at like 160 as I'm cutting, increase the protein intake, you know what I mean? And so
Right.
on. So it's just dependent upon the individual.
Right. It just depends, but it's definitely convenient and a must need
Yeah.
for anyone in fitness.
Yeah. I feel like anybody who's a coach is usually the protein connoisseur.
Yeah.
Like you need what you need is more protein.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need more protein.
Well, like there's that commercial with all the bodybuilders back from the 80s that is like protein, you feed the protein.
Yeah.
I forgot. They're like on the beach or something like that, right?
Yeah, they're all running.
That one's
Yeah,
hilarious.
and they knew what you're talking about. Yeah.
I did want to kind of leave everybody with some words of encouragement, some advice. Again, you being a trainer and a coach in the industry for 17 years, being somebody who's been in the valley, putting in the work. What's something you could tell everybody, man, just to encourage them, to give them the right mindset? I've heard a lot from you today, and it's like, I can tell you're definitely somebody who has a lot of drive and who has a lot of strong determination and hates excuses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for you, like, what can you tell people? Just kind of encourage them, or just tell them?
If as far as the person trying to build a better them, to better themselves, it's like you always hear it. It's a marathon. Okay, it's not a sprint. It takes time. You're not going to get to where you want to be within a year or 2 years. It could take years.
Mm-hmm.
It gets better each year, and you got to look at it as a lifestyle. Okay, you have to just live it. I mean, you don't have to be obsessed with it, but and don't wear yourself out. Have fun. Enjoy times with your friends. Don't be stuck measuring your food 7 days a week and being in the gym all day long. It can get obsessed. You can get obsessed and you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
I've learned that way, but you know what? I was so obsessed. I love this so much that I never got burnt out.
Yeah.
And then I still love it, and I've been doing it this long.
Yeah.
So, but you know, some little words of wisdom.
Yeah. You don't live to eat and work out. You eat and work out to live.
Yeah.
And so to your point, I think
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So with that, hope you guys enjoyed this podcast with Jason Beard. Maybe we'll have to have you on again,
For sure.
man.
Yeah,
This
we
has
gotta
been a
do it
sick
again.
one in the gym.
Definitely.
And remember to stay righteous, stay real. Episode 10. This is it. We out.
Yep.